Welcome to Subramani. Today I'm going to talk about a topic which people don't like much, or a topic which has got negative implications. What is living on a budget? So most financial planners and doctors would have heard these two statements. Doctor, whatever I do, I'm not able to save enough. And doctor, whatever I do, my weight is not going down, right? These are two statements which are very often heard, and both of them have a same solution. One is to write down what you are spending currently. So the first step to making a budget is not making the budget. It is just trying to write down whatever you are spending. So end of the day, introspect a little and see what you ate, and that becomes your food diary, and your money diary becomes what you spent. So it is you largely think that big amounts of money is where you waste. That is not true. You never waste big amounts of money because you think 10 times and then buy it. Maybe a wrong decision, but at least you have thought about it, right? So it's a genuine mistake. But where you actually lose is when you spend small amounts of money and you don't keep track of it. How much you spend, again, it's a little funny thing. Now, if you take something like almonds, right, it's considered to be an expensive item. So you could get anything from 500, 600 rupees a kilo to a few thousand rupees a kilo. So that looks expensive. So you will not, you will be careful how much you buy and all that. But when you go and buy those small bits of things called pan parag and stuff like that, you will say, give me a packet of pan parag, give it to 4 of my friends, or you're just going and. But it is those things which are very expensive. They would be 2,000 rupees or 2,500 rupees a kilo. Pretty shocking, right? But you buy only 5 grams, so it never hurts you, you never see it. But if you were to write down all the 5 grams that you bought at a time, over a long period of time, you're paying more for that because you're buying in small quantum, you do not realize, right? So that is how budgeting helps. Whether it is eating budget or whether it is a spending budget, write down what you're spending. Just write down in broad categories. You don't have to worry on what you're spending. If you're eating out, say eating out. If you're buying food items, which ready-made food items, say ready-made food items. If you're buying vegetables, obviously you will say vegetables, pulses, dairy, those categories. So you call them home food categories. Home food means the raw material is bought and you make it at home. Otherwise you are eating out. Then find out what you spend on clothes, what you spend on doctors, what you spend on medicines. Now medicines, you may want to separate it between doctor's fees and the medicine separately. You may want to. If you don't want to, that's also fine. Write down those expenses for a week or 10 days or 12 days and you will find one amazing thing. You will find that you are actually spending very differently from what you thought. You were spending 20,000 a month. Maybe you are still spending 20,000 a month. You thought you were spending 8,000 on travel, but actually it turns out that you were spending 8,000 on eating out, right? And less on travel or whatever. So your biggest expense is eating out and it is not travel. Your biggest expense is something which you spend frivolously, which you didn't even know you required. You just went to the mall, you found a t-shirt, you bought one. You bought another pair of slipper, another pair of undergarments, socks, etc. Now you write down all this and then you come home, and after a month when you are evaluating, do another exercise. See how many shirts you have and see how many years one shirt lasts. Let us say on an average one shirt lasts you 5 years, because that's the kind of usage that you do. And you find that you have got something like 48 shirts or 50 shirts, which means you have shirts for the next 250 years, right? This is a way to estimate and see around the house what all things you have and for how many years do you have. And if you're 50 years of age, you will claim that you're going to live another 20 years. If you're going to live another 20 years, why do you have clothing worth 250 years? Why do you have shoes worth 108 years, right? everything that you have, cutlery, your the napkins, towels, everything, anything you pick up, and you will realize that you've got much more than what you need for the rest of your life. Does it mean you will stop buying? No, you will still continue to buy. Why do we buy? Because we do not apply our mind. So do some mindful spending. When you want to buy a napkin, just introspect and say, do you really have enough at home? And you may be having enough. You may have kept it in different places. Organize everything, keep it in one place, and you may not need to buy for the rest of your life. Same thing for your socks, for your handkerchief, for your undergarments, for your shirts, for your trousers, for these coats. You must already be having enough, right? So once you start retrospecting about, or rather introspecting about these things, then you realize that your money is going into places which you can control, and you don't really need to buy more of this kind of stuff. Then you sit and make a budget and you say, okay, this is my grocery purchase, this is how I will do. Maybe you buy it online, maybe you buy it offline, maybe you walk into a D-Mart and buy it, maybe you walk into a Reliance and buy it, or you buy it online through Amazon or Flipkart or Jio. Anything is fine, but make your list and buy exactly what you need. Find out the things which you do not need. See how many t-shirts you have. Last count, I think I had 80. So maybe it's a time to get rid of it. It just acquires. You just keep acquiring it. Somebody gives you get a running t-shirt. You participated in an event, you get a free t-shirt. You go to an office, give a lecture, they give you a free t-shirt. It just accumulates. You don't know how it's accumulating. You don't know why it's accumulating. But you also buy. Because some of these things which you've got free, they got brand names, you're not going to use it, but it's still lying there. Get rid of it. Once you start doing all these things, you will find the need for doing a budget, whether it is a food budget or a financial budget, and then there is a greater chance that you will make it properly. And then you will not make the excuse of saying I will not write down, because all this nonsense you accumulated is because of not writing down. So when you're now, then you start writing down other expenses which you don't see it at all. For instance, your annual expenses, what you spent on Diwali, what you spent on maintenance of your car, or your life insurance, your term insurance, your medical insurance. Start writing down all that. As soon you have your check stubs or your bank statement to see, so see all that. Check whether any of those things are necessary, unnecessary. For example, at my age, I don't need term insurance. If I'm making a term insurance payment, I should stop making that payment, right? So do all that stuff, and you realize that, what you have done is budgeting. So, and also don't break up your expenses too fine, then you will not feel like doing. Suppose you have a pet, then just say pet expenses. Don't say pet vet expenses, pet food expenses, grooming expenses, pet keeper expenses. If you keep breaking up into these things, then you will never feel like maintaining it. When you want to maintain it, make sure that there are not too many subheads. And after that, you have a pet because you can afford a pet. Don't have to worry too much about how much you're spending on the vet, and how much on food, and how much on medicines and things like that. Just let be. Put the total expenses. Annually you're spending 1,30,000 on your pet. You should know it. That's about all. I'm not getting into whether you should have a pet, but at least you know what it costs, how much your pet is costing you. So then also keep reviewing the categories, and sometimes if you feel that you're spending too much, find out where you're spending too much. Are you spending too much at the mall? Then it's a great place not to take your credit card. Take cash. Because when you and your children see the cash going out, you realize the pain that, oh my God, I'm giving out so much cash and therefore I'm getting. Paying cash is far more painful than charging on a card. So during times when you don't want to spend too much, or you want to spend very mindfully, all the more reason why you should be carrying cash instead of carrying a credit card. Even better, make your children make the payment. Then the children ask, Sachi, dene ka hai, itna, kyun? And all those questions. Very nice. If your spouse did it, it would be a divorce. If your children did it, you will accept it. So make sure that you go around spending mindfully. Once you start doing that, you will yourself feel the need for a budget, and you will start writing down, and then you will realize that you have many things which will last another 75, 80, 100 years, but your money is going to last only 20 years. And there's a good chance that if you're a 50-year-old, that you will live another 50 years or at least 45 years. So now you realize why you need more money and less things. Thank you.